Hello, guys. How's everyone today? It is Saturday evening. It's just about 5:10, just about, and this is our second live session, live stream for the day. I just got some positive words from my friend Elise, who is here in the chat fairly often, which is much, much appreciated. Um, so we're also going to cruise around YouTube for a minute and see if we have any friends who are up live. Might need a little bit of support doing some uh, live stream of the live streams, so to speak. We don't stay long. We don't keep the volume up. We just pop in to let them know that we're supporting them, that we have their live stream up, lending them some watch hours, um, and that we got their back, which is important to know sometimes. As sometimes we all feel from time to time that um, maybe people don't have our backs. Here's the wonderful thing: there's so much going on that we don't know about, that is completely unseen, goes on behind the scene. We're probably going to do a little bit of Googling. Let's go to, let's do that right off the bat. And we're going to go to The Alchemist, a wonderful short novel that is awe-inspiring in the inspiration that it offers. How such a slim book, a novel, a fable, really, can bring so much to us. I'm trying to think of when I first read this book, maybe in the the mid to late 80s, maybe in the early 90s. Um, and I've read it every few years ever since. Paulo Coelho, I've read most of his books, I believe. Um, all of them are really good, but of course, The Alchemist stands alone in its simplicity and beauty, and above all, the message that it offers. And the message is very simple, that we're not alone, that we're supported. And here's the quote: and when you want something, all the universe conspires. Just like that, I had an ad pop up. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you achieve it. All the universe conspires in helping you achieve it. But you got to want it with all of your heart and all of your soul, which is exactly the same thing. And believe the fact, and it's not that the universe is conspiring to help you achieve it, it's that you are the universe in cooperation with yourself. That's the big thing. That's the amazing thing. So, been feeling a little down about some of my live sessions lately. As if maybe the flow wasn't quite there all the time. And of course, the flow itself, well, I was going to say the flow itself is always present. I don't know that for sure. So I do my best not to say things that I don't know for sure, or that I don't intuit for sure. Might be a better way of saying it. So, what I do know, what I do know intuitively is sometimes, man, sometimes that magic happens. Sometimes we're into that flow, um, that state of synchronicity when the right people and the right content and the right words, the right questions, statements, everything just effortlessly shows up. And then sometimes it doesn't. And you take it as it comes. You have to take it as it comes. Doesn't mean that you don't get down sometimes. As I said, I certainly felt that way, which is why I appreciate the words from my friend Elise that really helped. Sometimes too much information on a subject uh, can do that to us, can bring us down when it points out that we're doing everything wrong. So when I think of um, the goals that I have for my YouTube YouTube channel, which I do have goals, um, maybe goals is a strong word. Objectives. Goal's not really a bad word, but it just seems a little more driven than I actually am. Um, I have things that I would like to see come to bear. That's the gentlest way I think that I can describe it. One of which is being monetized, which some people might question. How can just a yogi who does burpees in his basement want to monetize? Doesn't that go against your spiritual values? Absolutely not. Um, one of the tenets of the Eightfold Path of Buddhism is right livelihood. One of the um, points of the eight limbs of yoga is the right the right way of earning income, and we might cover that a bit too. So the thing is the means that you're using to have a source of income in line with your dharma, in line with your purpose, and in line with your values. And I believe that what I can do on YouTube certainly can be. So I approach it that way. I do my best to approach it that way. But I do um, what I was, what I meant by sometimes too much information is that I watched some videos recently that specifically told me the things that I'm doing are wrong. That the most successful channels have some type of theme. They do reaction videos or they do reviews or whatever it might be. And I'm a bit more random than that, as my title of my channel suggests, which is another thing that I do wrong. It's a little too long. Although people have a tendency to remember it, maybe not correctly, but it's just the yogi guy. So, hey, that's something. And you know what? That says a lot right there. Allow yourself to redefine. I know we're fighting the algorithm gods, um, and they are all ruling in social media. You got to capture attention. And can you do that by just being a regular person, putting out whatever content inspires zeal? That's the big shift for me. I don't want to go in that direction of if you're a content creator. It means sometimes, it sort of implies you're creating content to please the algorithms, to get people to click. And that's not the kind of content that I wish to create. I certainly want people clicking on my channel, and I certainly want people, and I want positive reactions to it. I want kindness, I want some compassion, I want some empathy, um, and I want to get the attention, I want to gain the attention of algorithms, but not at the sake of selling out how I would like to approach my channel. which isn't so much being a content creator in that sense that we use nowadays, but in the content that I offer, which is the only thing I can do. I can only put out um, I can only put out the things that I love. I can only produce the things that come from my heart center. And then you see what happens. You surrender the outcome. It's the key to any manifestation, from high magic of the Celtics and Druids to yogic manifestation, whatever. The secret of the secret, the real secret, being detached from the outcome. Because then you're free. Then you're a true content creator. Um, AI CGI, old eyes on my part. So I'm squinting. Hey, buddy, you seem like an educated person. Um, Thanks. To an extent. Um, Not greatly so. But I've studied a lot of. Um, I'm very curious. So I read a lot. I read a lot on a lot of subjects. Um, I only went to community college, so not a super high education, but I became a certified meditation teacher, certified pranayama yoga teacher. So I have some education in the things that I love, and then a broad interest in all kinds of stuff: science, nature, history. Um, so again, detaching from outcome frees you from being concerned. This is what Krishna meant to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita when he said that you have the rights to your actions, but not the fruits of your actions. The fruit of your actions belong to God. So surrender it all now. Surrender it all to Krishna, to the God that holds your heart, to the universe, to reality. Doesn't matter what term we use. Surrender that and give yourself to the process of creating what you would like to create and put it on YouTube or whatever social media, or whatever kind of art that you're producing. It can be completely off of social media. For me, doing anything on this type of social media is a relatively new experience. I've had a blog 25 years and I share it on Facebook, occasionally on Instagram, Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter. And it was only for fun that I started doing some stuff on YouTube, sharing it with the fitness community, putting my workouts up there, having fun. And then I found that after my workouts, I'd sit down in front of the camera and I would start talking about yoga and meditation and breath work, the type of philosophical things that flow through my mind. And then I decided, well, you know what? I'm going to talk about it on a live session. And then it came to 2 live sessions and other stuff, and then nature shorts. So my channel slowly gained somewhat of a focus. But again, according to the stuff of some very successful YouTube people, it's not focused enough. You need to, commit to this specific path and put that stuff out on a regular basis. And your live stream is supposed to support the topic of your channel, staying on topic, which I never do. My live streams are all over the place. And it's actually for the sake of going live and nothing more. I do live streams for the art of the conversation, to support the people that show up. I don't support people for the sake of, because they help me. I don't support them because I hope that they'll do me a favor. We support people because they need support. As simple as that. Also want the live stream sessions to be available for people who just want a friendly word, who just want just a moment to stop here and then maybe leave and feel a little better about whatever's going on in their life. I want everyone to be welcome, um, to be offered a smile and a kind word. There's the Vedic wisdom. The Deepak Chopra outlines it very um, succinctly in the seven spiritual laws of success, and it is the law of giving and receiving, which are really one thing. We give and we give and we give, and we receive and receive and receive, and the perfect analogy is the breath. There's no such thing as an exhale except for the last one we'll ever take that doesn't have an inhale connected to it. There's no such thing as inhaling without giving back. We give and we receive. That's the Vedic law of giving and receiving. And what they offer is, we can look that up, as I almost always have a copy of that book available. What I want to do here on this channel is anyone who shows up, and I try to do this in my life, anyone I come in contact with, anyone who shows up, I give a gift to. And I'm not talking about a physical gift, or at least not most of the time. It's nice when you can give someone a physical gift, and it could be something as simple as a flower. Um, Anything that you find meaningful, you give to someone. But we want to get on a more subtle level, that everyone we come in contact with gets the gift of our attention, gets the gift of our kindness, gets the gift of our compassion, as well as our empathy. So if somebody comes into a live stream, you don't have to be overt or obvious about it, but everyone gets some kind of a gift, and it might be silent, or it might be a smile, or it might be a kind word. It might be as simple as me thinking namaste. The light, the divinity within me, recognizes and salutes the light and divinity within you. Or a simple blessing. Or wishing someone love. That's the most powerful gift. It's always nice to receive something physical in an envelope or a box with a ribbon on it. That's always cool. But the powerful things are the subtle things in the universe. After the Big Bang, everything was pretty quiet. As a matter of fact, before the Big Bang, everything was completely quiet because there was no space for anything to happen. Amazes me to think about that before the Big Bang, there was no such thing as space or time, and that the universe created it as it needed it. Now, here's the amazing thing. I keep using that expression, but it's all amazing stuff. It's all amazing things. Is everything that we are, the elements of our body, every single molecule, every single atom, every single particle, and the nothingness that holds them all together, for whatever reason, was supplied to us from the Big Bang, along with space and time. We literally came into existence. Everything that makes us came into existence with the Big Bang. We're eternal. We're infinite. The universe itself, without question. Judy Collins sang about it in Woodstock, later sung by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. We are golden. We are stardust. Literally. So, how can anything be beyond our creation, beyond our creativity? If the universe can create all this, and we're included, and we are the very consciousness of the universe itself, as well as made up of the physicality of the universe, One of the things I love to do, I take my morning walks. My first one, extremely early. Sometimes about 4:30, sometimes around 5. Um, and it's still dark right now. It'll be dark probably for another month at this time. I'm just about an hour before sunrise. This is Brahma Muhurti, which is Sanskrit for the hour of God, which is actually more than an hour. It begins about an hour before sunrise, and then it lasts about 45 minutes or so after sunrise. And it is the time of magic. It's when we can feel the presence of God, which is never absent. It can't be. With God being the universe and we being the universe as well, we can never be absent from that, that which is isness. However, we can't forget, and we do, and it happens quite easily, and we'll coast through life without ever having that realization again. Brahma Muhurti, the hour of God, is when we're reminded of it so clearly. We feel that presence so deeply. That's the hour to pray. That's the hour to ask for what you want. In Celtic lore, Celtic spirituality, they call these, they would call it like the thin time. They talk about thin places. Thin places are the veil between this reality and another reality at its thinnest in these specific places where you can literally walk through. My favorite description of this time is from the Persian poet Rumi, and we'll bring that up as soon as I pause for a second, say hi to my cat. Hey, we got a second visit from our friend Hello Flower. Hey, that reminds me, I need to check on your channel. Mocha's gonna subscribe, but she's hasn't been feeling well today. We took our walk together and then she wasn't feeling too good. So, thin places. When that place between the two worlds, we can say the place between this world and heaven. Although one of my favorite Christian mystics, St. Catherine of Siena, has a wonderful quote, all the way to heaven is heaven. That leaves absolutely nothing out. Flower says, I just woke up at 3:50. 3:50 a.m.? Man, you get up almost as early as I do. I was up this morning at about 2:34. Had the clock set for 2:40, but I was up. What's the sense staying in bed for 6 minutes or so? So, one of my favorite poets, one of my favorite poems, and it talks about that Brahma Muhurti, that hour of God that we can all experience, that we all do experience, but we forget. And I'm going to read it real quick. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the doorsill, where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. That's the hour of God. It takes place, again, an hour to an hour and a half before the sun comes up, and about 45 minutes after it's up. It's a very specific time. It's a very magical time. If you're up, as our friend Flower is right now, this is a time. Ask for what you've wished for. Ask for what you want. Put your intentions out in the universe. Put your right hand, put your left hand on your heart, your right hand over it, right on the heart center. Make a wish. Here's the key to wishing according to Hawaiian shamanism. Don't be overly specific in your wish, as it may come true. However, it might not come true in the way that we expect it. If you wish for a long life, you might get it, but you might be in ill health for an additional 20 years. So, be very considerate in the things that we wish for. Let's see. Flower says, I think it was like 40 or 50, but you go live at 4 a.m. Flower says, yes, a.m. Flower says, don't go back to sleep. That seemed targeted. Sort of, in a way, it is for all of us. A very famous channeler in the 1980s, she channeled what she called a non-physical entity of information that she called Seth. Good books. Whether you believe that's what actually happened or not, doesn't matter. And she tells the way she explains it, we all receive a wake-up call from God between the hours of 4 a.m. and 6 a.m., but most of us hit the snooze button and we say, God, man, I'd love to have a conversation with you. It's too damn early. Let me put you on hold. I'll get back to you 8 a.m., 9 a.m., even better, after I've had my coffee, some pancakes. But this is the time. This moment, that early in the morning, that's the time to talk to God, whatever the God of your belief system, or choosing for that matter. And Fire Battery Watcher is here, and he is from, let me get this right, Bangladesh. On a scale of 1 to 5, Fire Battery Watcher, how did I do? I'm not going to say it again because I'll never be able to say it like that again for the rest of the night. Hopefully I said it that once. And hopefully 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Hopefully I'm in that maybe 3 or 4. And Fire Battery Watcher is saying, hello, Yogi. Hello, my friend. Flower is saying hello to Night Watcher, who says hi back and is asking him how she's doing, how he is doing. Sid is here. Sid, how are you? Happy to see you. Fire Battery Watcher says 3.8. Hey, that's not too bad. I'm going to keep practicing, and I will get better. And you know what? I'm doing it because of the conversation I had with you and with Mocha that evening. I want to get better at a deep and sincere respect for you and the country that you live. I also have to get better with saying the country formerly known as Burma, that is no longer known as Burma, for my friend Flower. Goldie is here. Hi there, lovely people. Goldie, how are you? You know what? I always mention how much I love those entrances. The hi there, lovely people. Squirrel Sniper always has a wonderful one. And in return, another thing that I really like is if you look at our friend Flower, when she sees your appearance, Goldie, it's a hi Goldie with an exclamation point that she is truly, truly glad to see you and welcome you in. And that's just as beautiful as the beautiful entrance that you guys have when you come in here. Fire Battery Watcher says the la should be a bit harder. Bangladesh. That's going to be my last effort for the night, because I don't want to, the more I say something, the worse it usually gets. But since you gave me a tip, I needed to try it out and see how I did. Hopefully that brought me to a 3.9, maybe even a 4. If I get a 4, I'll be really happy. That's definite progress, especially considering as I might have been below 1 when I first tried. Goldie says hi to Flower. Hey, well, I got you guys here, and we got a few viewers. Our friend Flower has a YouTube channel, and she is growing her audience with a very specific goal of being able to get her first 50 subscribers so that she can do a live stream. So if you guys wouldn't mind subscribing to Flower's channel, and we can all do, and maybe ask some other friends to subscribe, then we can get her. She's at 26. She's over halfway there. So we should be able to get her pretty close. Goldie is chilling after work before sleep. How was work? You have another busy day? The Real Opinion is here. Hello, my friend. Happy to see you. And they say, hello, guys. Wishing everyone well. I'm at work. Wishing I was at home. Hopefully, it's going easy and well for you at work. And maybe you're close to being done, I hope. Flower says hi to Real. And Goldie says hi to Fire Battery. Wow. Firewatcher says that was a solid 4.4. And that makes me happy. And again, my friend, that is offered with the highest respect that I have for you and for your country. Next, I work on Myanmar. I know I'm saying it wrong. I'm not going to say it again. Flowers is asking how has your day been, Real? Goldie says hi. And the Real Opinion says long and boring, Goldie. Man, any one of that would be enough. Long, you know, you can deal with long. Boring, we can deal with boring. Long and boring, man, that's, you know, we're doubling up on the suck. Sorry about that, my friend. D-Block, 1015. It's funny how we read that, or how I read that, 1015. It could be 1015. It could be 1015. There's countless ways to say it. And for some reason, I think the mind is drawn to double numbers. So what is your channel about? Man, you know what? I was just talking about that. That was the opening thing. I don't know what my channel's about. According to the title, it's about burpees and yoga, which does sum it up. And, you know, when I talk about yoga, it's the full path of yoga, the ethical, personal observances, breath work, postures, and meditation. Specifically for me, yoga is a path of meditation. But we talk about everything. And I think more and more, at least what my live streams are becoming about, is just welcoming people, saying hi to people, having a conversation, and hopefully some type of uplifting to whoever needs to be uplifted, or maybe just listening if someone needs to be listened to, comforted if someone needs to be comforted, or even, you know what, I'm not opposed to sitting in silence with someone, because sometimes silence is the greatest healing balm that we could offer another. So, you know what, I didn't really answer your question very well. I apologize, but that's honestly the best I could do. And our friend Goldie was so kind as to provide a link for Flower. Real Opinion says will do. Thank you. Appreciate that. Goldie says, Flower's channel, please support. Flower has been a huge supporter for me and for everyone who comes in here. Everyone who comes in gets this huge welcome from Flower. Enthusiastic, sincere. Those are qualities that often are missing in across social media, which is an amazing trait for me. Um, it's so easy to do all the opposite of what Flower does on social media, on YouTube. So easy to be unkind, to I was going to say flippant. It's such an ancient word. No wonder people come here and um, call me an old man. I say things like flippant. I tell people to get off my lawn. uh, so I'm going to take, as I mentioned, when people see me, ashwagandha and melatonin um, helps me sleep. I try to take it an hour before I sleep, so it's kicking in when I lay down. I don't want people to think that I'm taking um, YouTube um, artificial enhancement aids. Flower says, Real, I hope you have a good day tomorrow. No, I wish you have a good day tomorrow. That is how you make a wish. Very nice. Wishing for the comfort of others, praying for the comforts of others. Goldie says, yes, it was busy, but sadly, it was the last day of my shift mate. He's moving back to his hometown. Oh, I'm sorry. Man, having somebody that you really like to work with definitely makes things easier. Real Opinion says 2 hours left. That's not too bad. We're going to be here. I'm going to be here for another over half an hour. So, I will do what I can. If you stick around, or if you pop in occasionally, we'll do what I can to make time fly, or at the very least, I'll do my best not to make it worse. Flower says, hello, Block. Welcome in. Flower says, this channel is about yoga and meditation. Thank you. And it's about us as well. Building community, doing what we can for each other. Especially when you guys come in. Most especially when not to single people out, but as far as like community and helping people, Flower, Goldie, Destiny, Odom, Brian Lane, really go out of your way to building up a channel. And when other people come in, like, you guys just met Noble and then showered him with support. Completely awesome. Let's see. Cody asks if I can please pin. Do all I have to do is press on it? I don't think that worked out too good. Yeah, we had a bit of I blanked out for a second. Not me personally. So I'm not exactly sure how to do that. D Block 1015 says you read it right. it's 10:15. That is probably one of the few times that um, I'm going to pronounce something right. Flower says live sessions are to talk about what's on your mind. You know, I'm glad you said that. And I mentioned much earlier that my friend Elise, who you guys have met, and she'll be starting her channel soon, gave me some really positive words because I've looked at some videos of some very successful content creators, and everything that they point out tells me I'm doing everything wrong. That you should come to a live stream with something in mind, an outline, and you stick to it. You answer questions, and you always steer people back to the outline, and that people are here to be entertained. So don't allow too much silence. Don't find that you have nothing to say all of a sudden because everything's outlined. You just return back to that over and over again. I do none of that. I do exactly what Flower just said. Talk about what's on our minds. So when it's just me, um, I do that until someone shows up. And then hopefully it becomes all inclusive and we can all talk about all kinds of stuff. So, Fire Battery Watcher says it's Myanmar with an emphasis as with a capital M. Myanmar. Ma. To the best of his knowledge, might be incorrect because I'm not from. I thought it was with a my. He's saying that he might be incorrect because he's not from Myanmar. I'll get it. I need to hear it. Although you did a wonderful job, both you and Mocha, tutoring me on um, Bangladesh. Boy, when you say it right, it's just so pretty. And I was mangling it forever. And they share a border. Myanmar. That'd be closer to it. I bet you Goldie pronounces it correctly without missing a beat. I'm betting. Goldie says, Fire Battery, I live in Transylvania, Romania, and met some of your compatriots here where I live. They're hardworking people. Flower says, why did that get retracted? What do you mean? So, Fire Battery Watcher says, so Flower is like pronounced Myanmar? And Flower says yes. Goldie says maybe typo. Fire Battery Watcher says, Goldie, it's our culture. It's normal for us to be very competitive. And that Goldie says he's a great kid that I'm honored I had the opportunity to work with. Man, being able to forge a great working relationship, someone turns into a friend, that is definitely a gift. And I'm getting some advice from Goldie. Yes, tap on it and choose the pin. I'm reluctant to try again as it seemed that we folded out. Something happened. Hey, I did it. Goldie, you know what? Um, channel wise, technically speaking, inspirationally speaking, across the board, you've been a huge help for me. Very much appreciated. So, I believe it is pinned. Definitely appreciate that, guys. Um, it is truly truly great to be able to give something back to Flower and all she gives people here. Um, Goldie says, Eric, you do you. I personally enjoy our conversations, even if I started with a stinky attitude. Um, you know what? I appreciated the fact that you came into our first conversation completely open and honest. Um, and then we were able to keep talking without missing a beat. It wasn't like um, where you came in and you stated a thought, stated an opinion, and then completely shut everything out. We forged a great relationship and great conversations, um, finding all the stuff that we have connected. Um, as I mentioned before, I have a deep love of Christianity. And you, for me, you're a shining example of the best of what Christianity offers. And that doesn't mean that um, you're without fault. It doesn't put you on a pedestal. It means that you are someone that sincerely practices um, your faith, which honestly I find lacking in all kinds of faith across borders. I find it lacking in a lot of Christians. I find it lacking in some Buddhists. I find it lacking in people who practice yoga, probably specifically yoga, because yoga is a very demanding path, but it's easy to do some stretches and say, I'm a yogi. It's easy to do some breath work and say, I practice yoga. But it's harder to practice the ethical restraints and the personal observances that are the very foundation of yoga. Just like Christianity, it's easy to go to church on Sundays and Christmas, um, special occasions. It's easy to put money in the collection box, um, or if you have a mind to quote from the Bible, but it's not easy or convenient to truly, truly practice Christianity where you forgive, where you turn the other cheek, where you offer love, um, where you literally practice the Beatitudes, the Sermon of the Mount. So I very much respect and admire your commitment. And I am up to at 4.8, 4.9. I definitely need to quit while I'm ahead. What I'm doing, Fire Battery Watcher says that one was even better. That was a very good 4.8 to 9. I'm going to have to mention that to Mocha. Um, Mocha being a linguist and that I've been with her for almost 23 years, um, incredibly patient with the corrections of everything that I mispronounce. But she's very consistent. She will eventually get me to speak right if it's the last thing she does. Um, but I'm pausing. I look at it and I pause before I say it so that I'm very mindful in my approach. And again, I do that because I'm trying to offer it as the most sincere form of respect. Flower says that Noble went live. Good. Goldie says, don't bet, Eric, you might lose. This is true. I have in the past. We'll check in with Noble in a minute. We'll live stream a live stream. What I found the most effective way is to just have it up with the sound off. And then every once in a while we check in to see how it's going. I might type in the comment that we're live streaming him. That way we get to lend some watch hours to a friend and show our support at the same time. Fireberry Watcher says that almost, how I say, Bangladesh. But Bangladesh is said very hardly, like it has a soft edges, but it's pronounced hard. I remember you mentioning that last time, and I've been trying to emphasize with the la. And Flower says I'll be posting a short on how to pronounce a few things. Hey, that's a really good idea. I knew you were going to have some really great content, Flower. I have complete faith in what you're going to be doing. Goldie says, well done. I appreciate the coaching to get me there. The first time I tried, I thought I'd lost the entire conversation here. Goldie says, my pleasure, sir. Flower says, hey, there we go. And she's asking, why does Nightwatcher's message keeps being retracted? It's got to be from his end. Because I'm doing it, yep. Because I have many typos. You know what? Typos are fine. We can always work around it. And I try to interpret the meaning so that it doesn't make much difference. Goldie says, sadly, I have to agree at the lacking. Goldie, here's my question for you. Why do you think that's so? Why do you think so many people don't really want to practice Christianity? That they think that just because they're Christians, that's enough. That they're baptized and that they will have, they've been confirmed if they're Catholic, or get the last rites or whatever, and that's enough. And then they can live their life however they want. When Jesus gives explicit examples on how to live our lives, how to follow the path of Christ. And he told you, you don't have to guess. You don't have to say, I think this is what Jesus would do. He tells you right in the New Testament. He says, or biblical historians have said that some believe those are the only actual words spoken by Jesus in the entire New Testament. Everything else is told by some other person. Sermon on the Mount, Jesus' words saying, here it is, guys. This is how you practice. This is what you want to do. Goldie says, Fire Battery, I'm also not a native English speaker, so I understand. Neither is Flower. Funny, oddly enough, I'm the only English speaker here, and I have the worst English out of all of us. Funny in a sad way for me. That was one of the big things starting my channel, was knowing I was going to come here, I was going to mispronounce things, I was going to stutter, I was going to be very awkward. Things I don't talk about often, because it's still a sensitive subject for me, is needing a speech therapist when I was a kid, getting horribly teased. Um, Not so much, never physically bullied really, as I was always able to stand up for myself, but verbally teased, abused, even by teachers, would try to get me to say things in front of the class because it sounded funny. Um, it's a horrible position to be in. But, it's what happened. It's some of the things that actually helped me with a sense of sensitivity to what other people might be going through. Um, as a matter of fact, probably for uh, 15, maybe longer years in my relationship with Mocha, I never brought up that I had to see a speech therapist. She obviously knew that there were some issues, but I never mentioned it because it was a hard thing for me to discuss. And then when I decided to do my channel, that I was just going to be authentic, let my awkwardness show through without apologies, because there's never ever any need to apologize for who and what you are, for the things that have shaped you to be who you are right now. I'm all for apologizing for certain things, but being who you are, being authentic, authentically you, is definitely not one of them. Fire Battery Watcher says, yeah. Goldie says, hope it's not the last thing she does. Flower says, no. The pin's gone? Nope, it's here on the bottom. I see it. I think when people come in, they'll be able to see it. Yep, Goldie says the pin is still there. Fire Battery Watcher says, hard will be in capitals and soft edges will be in small. So, Ba, La, Desh, Bangladesh, Bangladesh. Flower says it's disappeared for her. It's still here still here though on my end. So that's the important thing. Flower says, hey, I got it right. Night Watcher. I'm not surprised. Fire Watcher says it also disappeared for me, but it came back after a second. Goldie says, because they take everything for granted and they forget the first love they had for God. I definitely agree. I mentioned before one of my favorite lines from the, I believe, 12th century Christian mystic, Meister Eckhart. It was a German Christian mystic who was very nearly burned at the stake for being a heretic, some of the things that he said. And it was all about his closeness to God. But he had a beautiful sentiment. If the only prayer we ever say is thank you, that would be enough. And I've taken that to heart every morning, and now it's not even a practice, it's just a spontaneous thankfulness. Every morning I wake up and the first thing I think is thank you. And it's not for things, although I'm certainly thankful for the things that I have a home, that I have relationships, that I have 2 cats roaming around the house, that all the stuff that I've been gifted. I have a car that I hardly ever use. But to thank you is for my existence, because it wasn't guaranteed, it wasn't promised, not to my knowledge. It's been gifted. God's given the gift of this existence. How can you not say thank you? Flower says, I think I actually got rid of it. The important thing is, if anyone comes into the conversation, they will be able to see it. So if it's deleted on your end, at least know that the people who will be able to click in and subscribe to you will be able to see it. Fire Bounty Watcher is asking what Flower got right. The pronunciation. Goldie says, in my case, it's those who have forgotten more, love more. It's a beautiful way of putting it. And it's also why in yoga, forgiveness is simply a way of accepting how things are. No one's at fault. As Goldie said, those who have forgotten more, love more. You don't blame someone for forgetting. How can you? If they remembered that connection with God, they would have that connection with God in their life. If they remembered that the path of Jesus called for these things, if they remembered the path of yoga called for these specific things, they would do it. But, again, man, 10 years of being a caregiver for my mom with Alzheimer's disease, and the first realization that hopefully every caregiver will have is you can never say, I just told you. And I did hear some people use that to my mom, and I would do my best to kindly say, you can't say that, because for someone with Alzheimer's or any form of dementia, there is no I just. This is right now. And you might have to infinitely say the same thing over and over again. I was amazed at the patience and kindness of my father, who said to all of his children, with your help, I don't want to put your mother in a home. As long as we can keep her here and we can all take care of her and she's happy and she's loved, we'll do so. If it gets beyond us, then we'll think about other things. And we kept her at home until she died. And then we did the same thing for my father, who died at home. So it's the same thing, that you can't say to someone, why aren't you being a good Christian, if they don't remember what they're supposed to do. What you can do is be an example. You can talk about it. You can talk about that path and outline it. This is what I do, and it's brought me great peace. Maybe it'll work for you. That's how you get someone to remember. You prompt. You don't push, you don't shove, you don't yell. So yeah, that was a beautiful way of saying it, Goldie. Goldie says, I know where I was before God lifted me up. Yeah, I know where I was too, and it was not in a good place. It was a fast downwardly spiral. Firebody Watcher says, do you have dyslexia? I don't know. I was never diagnosed with dyslexia. Flower says, hey, Eric, you can just come to me when you need something. Anyone can. I appreciate that, Flower. And you know what? I know how sincere you are about that as well. Goldie says, lovely people, the pin might not be visible when you send a message, but only for you and for a little bit. Yeah, it's never wavered on my end. Firebody Watcher says, perfect, 5 out of 5. All right, with that in mind, I'm going to retire it for the evening so I don't mess up my streak. Our friend Burpee Yoga Uncle is here. Aloha. Aloha, my friend. How are you? Burpee Yoga Uncle says, yes, each day and even each breath is a blessing. Oh, it certainly is. No breath is guaranteed. That's why when I teach mindfulness of breath, when I teach pranayama, I always liken it to a prayer. We came into being, into beingness itself. We were dirt. We were the elements, mud, until we received the breath of life from God. So each breath that we return is a thank you, a thank you, a thank you. Thank you for that, Unc. I appreciate that. For those who might not know, Burpee Yoga Uncle is a legend in the burpee community. And I don't use the word legend lightly. Also happens to be one of the most gracious and inspiring people in the community. Goldie says, watching a video on the word Yahweh, and it said that it's actually a deep breath. So don't take God's name in vain. Has a whole new meaning. So true. I love those deeper, when you dive into those things, don't take the Lord's name in vain, and we take it on a surface level. But when you go deep and deep and deep, you really see that the true sincerity of what they're saying. I always liken, I don't see any reason to point out a big difference between the creation story in Genesis and the Big Bang. That the Big Bang and the Zohar and the Hebrew telling of Genesis talks about it. The universe came, it wasn't a big bang, it was a big breath, and it was the breath of God. The universe came into existence from the breath of God. I think, science did, obviously science does wonderful things. We're communicating because of science, but it also dismisses things too easily and too readily because it doesn't fit their narrative, not realizing at the same time that science itself is just a story. It's not the actuality. The Big Bang didn't really bang. It was probably more of a whoosh. It was probably more of a breath. That's why, me personally, I don't believe my own stories as well. Flowers is asking Uncle how he's been. Goldie says, Eric, it was forgiven. And Firebody Watches says, be right back. I'm going to tune into Berga's live. Let's bring him up real quick. Minecraft is here. Flower says, all right. I'm assuming that is all right. And Minecraft says, LOL. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're having a good time. Let's see. And Unc says, aloha all. Flower says, how are you, MC Gamer? And they're doing fine. Goldie's saying hi to Burpee Yoga and to Minecraft. Minecraft says, type my full name, bro. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Not because I wouldn't type it, but because I'm on my phone and I'm reluctant to press too many buttons on my phone. Otherwise, I have no idea what might happen. The entire universe might be connected to my phone, and if I press the wrong button, we might instantly blink out of existence until I figure out what's going on. And man, we don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. And Goldie says, I'm sorry, Minecraft gamers. I didn't realize it was so important to you. Goldie says, now people use Jesus Christ as a curse. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? People who are consider themselves true Christians makes no sense whatsoever. And even if you're not a Christian, you know the very nature of Christianity itself, the very nature of Jesus, was one of love and forgiveness. So how do you turn that into a curse word? Yeah, Minecraft Gamer says, talk. Cacopola? I do not know what that means. I don't know what it means, and I don't know how to pronounce it. And Flower says, why is that? Why is that true? And the game is over, according to Minecraft Gamers. Or is the game continuing? Fire Battery Watcher says that Goldie Minecraft Gamers is cursing at you in Bengali. Unk says, aloha, actually, I see your breath. I see you breathe or breath of life. It's ha, is breath. I've actually heard that before. I was reading a bit about a month ago on Hawaiian shamanism, and it's amazing the ha. I've talked about that before. The ha and the ah being the actual sounds of creation. That so we could literally say the Big Bang was more of a big ha, big breath. I like the fact that aloha has that double meaning of hello, of welcome and goodbye, leaving. And we can liken that to the breath always being extended, always being retracted. We can liken that to the universe being extended and will one day be retracted. Burpee says that's the meaning of aloha. Beautiful. And Goldie says, please fire battery. We don't speak your language, so please be respectful and speak a language that the host understands. Actually, um, the funny thing is, it really doesn't matter what someone says in another language if it has no meaning to me or to any of us. That, oh, yeah, hey, Goldie, you have a wrench and use it at your discretion. You, as well as Flower, have all the authority needed to do everything you need to do. Fire Battery Watcher says, Goldie, I'm talking to Kenny Raft Gamers. He called you I have no idea what that is. Son of a B word. Flower says, excuse me, I didn't catch that. That's the amazing thing. Goldie says, Fire Battery, if that's his opinion, he may keep it. It doesn't affect me. Man, when you gain that sense of freedom and you're truly free, someone can come in here, most especially in another language, and actually think that they're insulting you. I'm insult proof. It can't be done. There's not a single thing someone can say about me that makes any difference to me. It makes all the difference to you. You're caught in that little world. You're caught in that trap of believing that what you think is of any importance to anyone but yourself. And it isn't. Um, and it breaks my heart just a little bit to know that someone is so deeply trapped in that thought process. And that generally it takes getting your heart broken before you get a glimpse of how to get out of it. And that's the sad thing, that it takes that. Not always. Some people have that spontaneous awakening where they see um, how little value that type of thought process is for themselves and the world itself. And but some people, most people, I would say, it takes getting their heart broken. So that's what allows me to be, at best, gracious for people who come in, and at worst, ignore them. Because I myself remain unaffected. And as Goldie said herself, she remains unaffected. And I suspect that the rest of our friends here as well have the same thing. I would say almost certainly that our friends here have that same. Goldie says, not about you, lovely flowers. Flower says, you don't have to add lovely, but thanks, Goldie. Hey, Goldie calls it like she sees it. And our friend Duncan Walsh, Fitness Motivation, is here. Another true legend in the fitness and burpee community. Says hello to the spry gentleman. What Duncan's not saying, he's being kind. I think what he wanted to say, hello to the spry older gentleman. And Flower saying, hello, Duncan. How's your day been? Goldie says, but lovely is the way I address ladies. Men might misunderstand. I absolutely love the Goldie entrance of hello, lovely people. Goldie says hi to Duncan. Minecraft Gamer says, very nice live, dude. Hey, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Goldie says, you heard that, Minecraft Gamers. You are warned. Please speak in English or live. On live. And Unk says, NGAF. I'm not catching the NGAF. Unk, you got to enlighten me on that. Hey, Duncan, do you know Burpee's Yoga Uncle? Are you guys connected? You are both amazingly explosive athletes. Burpee's Yoga Uncle has legendary Superman burpees where he's literally flying. Goldie says, thank you for typing in English. And Goldie says, and by the way, Minecraft Gamers, I'm a lady, so I can't be a son. That is a foolproof argument. It cannot be denied. Fire Battery Watcher says, if you see someone say any of those words, mute them. Okay. Christy McCamey, did I say that right? Wow, impressive book collection. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, that's a sample. I got more over here and all in the other room. A lifelong lover of books. Chrissy, appreciate you being here. Flower says, hey, don't forget to hit the like. Thank you very much. Goldie says, thank you, Fire Battery. I truly appreciate your help. Duncan says, absolutely no, the Unk. Yeah, I figured, but never want to take a chance because definitely would be a shame for you two not to be connected. Flower says, Christy, huh? Eric always impressive. Thank you for that, Flower. Goldie is saying hi there to Christy. Minecraft Gamer says, OMG, bro. Fire Battery Watcher, you were doing well, bro. Unk is saying, waiting to do a collab with you, Duncan. Man, that would be something. I'd love to see what you guys would have planned. Hey, Duncan, have you ever tried the Superman burpee? It's right up your alley. I'm almost positive you have. Christy says, hi, Goldie. Nice to meet you all. Nice to meet you too, Christy. Fire Bounty Watcher says, bro, shut up, MC Gamers. Duncan says, we should do it, Dunk. Man, I'm just trying to imagine what you guys would do. Flower says, how are you, Christy? Christy says, I'm good. Just impressed by his book collection. Thanks. Do a little... I was going to do a slide over there to show you, but it's a bit of a mess. as is back there as well, as you can see. Duncan says, I need to practice the Superman first. Yeah, it would be something to see what you two would bring together. I imagine Duncan would offer his famous star jump, and Unc would offer his famous Superman burpee. Um, Putting those two together, maybe doing still in the games, Navy SEAL. Those three together, that would be something. I think if the three of you, if you added Tony Han into that mix, I don't think that could be captured on YouTube. It would be too explosive to be captured. Flower says, Night Watcher, if he's annoying you, I can time him out. Goldie says it's okay, fire battery. Flower says, yeah, autocorrects sometimes suck. Fire battery watcher says, Flower, I don't have a mod. I could give you a wrench, fire battery watcher. I know that you would use it responsibly, and I know that you would use it for the benefit of the conversation. I like the fact that Flower asked you personally. If he's annoying you, she would take charge. Absolutely love that. Flower is not just a kind, considerate, and sincere person. She has a lot of respect and responsibility for the people that come here. So, and I know that you'd be the same, Fire Battery. So that would be perfectly fine with me. Christy says, I have a book about Quidditch. Did I pronounce that right? Throughout the ages, and an unofficial Harry Potter spellbook. That's pretty cool. I actually have some books on high magic in the other room. Probably some here as well. Yeah, I think I have one up there. Basic ritual magic, and nothing that I practice, but I enjoy reading about stuff like that. Flower says, I do. Flower is willing to take charge. Duncan says, I keep meaning to try the Superman, but haven't yet. It's a tough move. And then to do them in the numbers that Unc does them. Burpee says, Burpee Yoga Uncle says, NGF means nobody gives a F. Thank you for that. You know what? I'm happy. I'm happy with this entire conversation and everyone involved, including MC Gamers. Adds his own element to the mix. But I'm really grateful to have learned that, Unc. Thank you. And Goldie says, Fire Battery, did you need me to time him out? Well, I'm actually going to call it a night in about 10 minutes. But again, the important thing is I want everyone to feel comfortable. So um, I would say, Fire Battery Watcher, if anyone ever makes you uncomfortable, just say so, and we'll take care of it. Our friend Brian Lane is here. Hello, Eric. Hello, Brian. How are you? I was talking about you earlier. Brian, I know you're friends with Duncan. Are you connected with Burpee Yoga Uncle? I think you will very much appreciate his channel. Brian says hi to everyone. Goldie says hi to Brian. Firebody Watcher says, thank you for removing his comments. Yeah, again, you feel uncomfortable is because I have a tendency to, at a certain point, I'll engage with people. And then when you see the direction that it's going, I have a tendency to ignore, which isn't always the best thing to do. Because if it makes other people, specifically if it makes you feel uncomfortable, if it makes the people that I care about uncomfortable, then something needs to be done. So, forgive me for just getting into that I ignore him mode. Because again, that's almost a selfish view, in my opinion. I need to be thinking about the people here and not just ignore. And it's not for me to tell someone just ignore them, because sometimes they can't. So, Fire Battery Watcher, I defer to you. Whenever someone makes you uncomfortable, say so, and we'll do something about it. Burpee Zero Uncle says, okay, I will do those 3 things together. Wow. Man, that would be a workout. I'm trying to picture how that would be pieced together. What would you do first? Ending with the Superman? I'm looking forward to this. I like the direction that it's going. I specifically like the direction that it's going because I'm not the one who has to do it. Goldie says, well, lovely flower. You got there before me. She stepped up. Flower stepped up and took charge. Hey, well, we have some more people here. Speaking of our friend Flower, she has a lovely brand new YouTube channel. She has a goal, 50 subscribers, so that she can do some live streaming. She's at 26. She's halfway there. If the link is pinned, if you guys wouldn't mind subscribing to Flower. She is at 28 right now. Much appreciated, guys. She has offered her support and her enthusiasm for so many of my live streams, as well as just being so warm and welcoming to each and every person that comes into the conversation. Flower says hello to Brian. Duncan says, hey Eric, did my first attempt at 20 minutes 6 counts, followed by a few bits and bobs. You haven't done a 6 count before? I don't remember if it was today or the other day, talking about 6 counts. How if I went back to non-nasal breathing burpees, um, I'd like to see where my Navy SEALs are. I think it was today I talked about it. But I don't think I would see immediate benefit returning for 6 counts, because six counts are so specific in what we're doing. Um, so training run one pumps, even though nasal breathing, I think, ups your game when you return back to throwing in some mouth breathing. Um, I don't think you immediately see the benefits because 6 counts is so specific. Brian says that he's good. Duncan is saying hey to Brian. Cody says, fire battery, was he disrespectful to you? Cody says, I believe it would be helpful for you too, Eric. Yeah, I agree, because it can be disruptive to a conversation. It can break up the flow. Um, as well, I have great conversations with um, fire battery watcher. So if he's distracted and he's feeling disrespected, it takes away from the quality of our conversation together. So yeah, it helps the channel as a whole. These are the things I need to learn to keep in mind. Brian says, so I discovered that the less I think, the happier that I am. You know, that's a great discovery, Brian. William Shakespeare offered the same thing. Nothing be good nor bad, less thinking makes it so. I believe it was Hamlet, although I might stand to be corrected. Um, yeah, we can even take that in a more subtle, that believing what we think, the less we believe what we think, the happier that we are, or the lighter that we hold our thoughts. It was an amazing discovery for me. Now we're in trouble because I see Duncan Wash saying, have you considered? Nothing good ever follows that sentence from Duncan Wash. From other people, you know what? Like if someone said, have you considered? And then they followed up with a second piece of pie. Have you considered another piece of cake? Have you considered all kinds of stuff? But when it comes from our friend Duncan Walsh, absolutely nothing good comes from it because it's going to be painful. And Firebrowdy Watcher says, no, it was just very angering that he was such a low person to insult someone in a foreign language. Not to mention, it's a weird thing to do. Duncan said, okay, actually, I stand corrected. I really thought Duncan was going to offer a painful burpee workout, a painful burpee suggestion that I've almost always take up. So he's not to blame. I'm the one to blame. But this is actually a non-painful suggestion. Uh, Doing a walking, talking live stream where you walk and see the wildlife. Mocha has thought that. Uh, I'm thinking of getting a, what do they call it? A GoPro. Otherwise, I'd be walking with a selfie stick. Um, and I don't know how that would work out. But it is under consideration. I think a GoPro would be really cool because then I can continue with the fast paced walking um, and not worry about holding a selfie stick. Cody says, don't worry about it, Firewalker. fire battery. Sorry, we couldn't understand him, so it was water under the duck's back. It certainly was instantly. Flower says we're thinking of doing a 24-hour timeout, but 10 minutes enough. Yeah, I'm gonna be calling it a night in just a minute. It is actually getting right close to my bedtime. And hey, Flower, and it's the same obviously with Goldie. You never have to run anything by me. I trust you guys completely. If if you think 24 hours, if you think an entire block, all of that's fine with me. And Unc says the first time I heard NGAF came from the legend Iron Wolf. Yeah, that sounds like something that a hardcore Marine would say. Unc says, and it's so true. Yeah, it is. Yep. Brian says that I'm good, brother. Thanks, and I'll check him out. Our friend, it is what it is, says that Burpee Yoga Uncle is the GOAT, the greatest of all time, and not going to get an argument for me. Here's the amazing thing. I've talked about the most explosive people in the burpee community with Unc, Duncan Walsh, still in the game. And they're also 3 of the elder statesmen in the burpee community. Absolutely amazing. Now, I also put Paradox in there as well. Unc says Navy, then Superman, then the Star Jump. That's a good combination. Duncan, what do you think about that? Goldie says, please remember to subscribe, to follow. Hello, Flower here. Yes, please do. She is at 28 right now. Getting closer and closer to the goal. We're going to try to get her there as quick as possible. And Brian says, don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you for that. So, guys, I'm afraid I'm going to have to call it a night. Hey, Brian, I definitely want to talk to you more about your thoughts on thoughts. There's a lot to explore, a lot to unpack there. That's a huge insight that you get through meditation. Goldie says, build a community of people and a safe place for opinions to be shared with respect, because it's a rare thing on YouTube. People are getting sick of the drama. That's the plan, and that's what Elise was alluding to as well, that don't worry about how other people say this is how you do it. Follow your vision. My vision's always kindness. Be kind and be kind and be kind. Sometimes, and this is important for me to remember, sometimes being kind means taking a hard stance with certain people who might be disrupting the conversation. And again, I often forget that because I put myself in that position of trying to be kind to the person who is disrupting, which is important, but that shouldn't come at the expense of other people feeling comfortable and respected. So, Goldie, I really appreciate that. I also appreciate you saying that's how you grow. Just be yourself. Those are words I very much needed to hear. So thank you. So it's also a perfect way to end a really good conversation despite the disruption. Goldie, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And Brian Lane, Duncan, Burpee Yoga Uncle, and our good friend Fire Bounty Watcher. Thank you very much for being here. Christy, appreciate you being here as well. Just my opinion, or the real opinion, was here, and appreciate that. And a big, big thank you to my wonderful friend, Flower. Definitely hope, the real opinion, yep, that's who it was. I definitely hope you guys, D-Block 1015 was here as well. Thank you for showing up, my friend. And you know what, again, even gamers, because there was an important lesson there for me to learn. That I needed to sink in again, because I've made that mistake before. I don't want to make it again. So it was pretty important. So thank you for him as well. I appreciate you being here. Sid was here. Thank you, Sid. And AI CGI was here. And he came into the conversation with a very nice compliment, saying that I seemed like a very educated person. That might have changed once he heard me talk. So, Goldie says, my pleasure. Brian says, hope everyone has a blessed day and a great weekend. Thank you, Brian. And hopefully we'll be talking soon. Goldie says, have a lovely day and evening. Lovely people. I'm going to sleep too. Thanks again, guys. Very much appreciate it. Flower, I'm looking forward to your next video. I'm hoping that I wake up tomorrow morning and there is 50 plus subscribers on your channel. Be well deserved. Thanks again. Hey, Duncan, when you get a chance, let me know what you think of the arrangement that Unc is talking about. The Navy SEAL, followed by the Superman, followed by the Star Jump. That's a pretty good combo. So, with that, thanks, guys. Very much appreciated spending the evening with me.